Class, welcome to week 10. Week 10 is jam-packed. So we're going to jump in. We've got ROI and conversion tracking, which I will explain. You've got your second part of project 3. We've got optimizing ad performance, so taking that Google ads you do have and knowing how to improve them and make the best of them. And then we'll start project 4. And of course, you got your discussion boards and reflections. So it's a busy week. Let's jump in first to ROI and conversion tracking. And this is really the full advantage to Google Ads, in my opinion. Marketing can be a challenging wing of your business because you don't always know what you're getting for your marketing efforts. And the advantage of Google Ads is if you set it up correctly, you can track down to the penny what you get back for each dollar you spend. And that's a really powerful business model because you know if you're getting 10 cents back, right, or $1.10 back for every dollar you spend, then your marketing campaign is profitable, and the more money you put on it, the more you'll get back. If you're earning 90 cents for every dollar you spend, well, then you know that your marketing campaign is not successful. So this is powerful information if it's set up correctly. So this assignment is all about setting up that conversion tracking to measure your return on investment. To do that, please take time on these readings, especially this measuring sales and conversions and setting up conversion tracking, because that's really what we're getting at. But all of it is very helpful, especially if you're unfamiliar with the return on investment concept. In theory, all it is what I just explained. How much are you getting back for the dollars you're putting in? But if you're new to that business concept, taking time to read these first two is very helpful. And then what you'll do is you'll open a Word document to answer these questions. This first one, identify at least one conversion for your website, is the most challenging question, I think, overall for this assignment. And I'm going to explain a conversion and why in some business models it's simple and others are not. If you're selling a product, a conversion for your website is the moment you convert that visitor into a customer, into a paying customer. So you'll get tons of visitors to your website, but the moment they click purchase, there's going to be a page that pops up that says thank you for your purchase. That's where you would put a code on your website that tells Google Ads that you have converted that person from a visitor into a customer. And that's when we say conversion, that's what we're measuring, is you help someone make that conversion from visitor to paying customer. Now, if you have a different business model, sometimes it's a little tougher to track. If you're running an affiliate business, then clicking on the link to that affiliate product is not quite enough. It's when they actually purchase the product. And so setting up your conversion tracking will be a collaboration with your affiliate partner to know when you've converted a visitor into a paying customer. If you're running Google AdSense, you're running a blog with advertisement on there, it can be even more challenging because at what point in the website is someone converted into a paying customer? Well, it's when they click on an ad, which happens in high volume with lower revenue per click. So identifying that conversion can be challenging depending on your business model. So think about that a little bit. But the conversion is asking, when are they converted from a visitor to a paying customer? And then you'll have to determine the value of that conversion. It can be different for different products on your website. The value of that conversion is going to be different. If you're looking at it from an affiliate standpoint, you can work with your affiliate partner to set up the value of the conversion. Sometimes you might say, for your website, making it to the blog, say you're running an advertising business model, just arriving at the blog is when you're converting someone to a paying customer, because you know that let's say 5% of visitors to your blog click on ads, and so you know for every 20 visitors to your blog, you get one click on your ads, and the value of a click per ad is I don't know exactly what it would be. We'll say 2 cents. So 5% of people visiting that blog times 2 cents is the value of your conversion each time you visit the blog. So that's kind of the process you got to go through to determine the value of the conversion. These things will help you in that process. Reach out to me if you've got questions for your specific model. The rest of these questions are a little bit more straightforward, right? Which page of your website is your conversion page and why? Get the code snippet, right? This will walk you through. You'll get a code snippet similar to Google Analytics, and you'll install it on your page where you determine the conversion is. Do not choose your home page as your conversion page, because that just doesn't give you any data. That just means every visitor's conversion. You want to pick something besides your home page as your conversion page. And then put it all in an essay format. It should be half a page to 1 page in length. And that will be it. So I hope I didn't take too much time on explaining conversion tracking, but identifying the conversion is often the hardest part of that. So I hope that's a little more clear to you. Project 3 is due this week. And what Project 3 is, in essence, you started this last week to set up your campaign. All you need to submit for this is a screenshot that shows 2 of your advertisements, see these 2 advertisements up here, and 10 of your keywords. And that's it. That's all you got to do. If you want to submit this in 2 screenshots, that's fine. I just need to see 2 advertisements and 10 keywords. And that's it. If you have not done so, please launch your campaign. Now is the time to do that. You'll need that for Project 4. And it's good to wait till week 10. So if you've waited till this point, you have not made a mistake. But now is the time to start it. And you'll start gathering data on that. So if you did start it last week, that's fine too. You'll have a little bit more data to gather. If you have not started it yet, go ahead and launch those campaigns. Our next assignment is the optimizing ad performance. Sorry, I was going to jump to Project 4, but I'll do that at the end. So optimizing ad performance, this assignment is going to help you with Project 4. Google, as I've said this before, Google wants you to be successful with your marketing campaigns, because the more successful you are, the more you will use their product, and the more dollars they get out of the arrangement. So they want you to be really successful on these advertising campaigns. So to do that, they've given you a number of different metrics, and you'll see this information come in greater and greater numbers as your campaigns move along and start to gather data. But what we have here is a sample document of what it will look like. And so some of these metrics, and I'll show you the document in just a minute, but they're measuring how many clicks has your campaign had. So if you have a good advertisement, people are going to want to click on it, and that's a measure of success. How many impressions has it had? That's how many times has it shown up on a Google search as an option to click on. To be able to show up, you typically have to win the bid, because there's going to be multiple companies that want to show up for the same keywords you're bidding for in the same region. And Google measures the quality of your ad and your landing page to determine whether or not you should win the bid. It's not just, are you bidding more money? So impressions will tell you how often you're winning that bid, and your ad is actually showing up on Google search. What is the average cost per click? Meaning, so you're going to pay for impressions, and then when people actually click on it, there's a cost to you. And so, is there a higher cost per click? Is there a lower cost per click? That all depends on the number of impressions and how expensive it was for you just to appear on the page. Then 4, what is the average ad position? So are you the top ranked ad when it shows up, or are you the 2nd, 4th place ad? But that will give you what your ad position is. And then what is the conversion rate? Meaning, how many times does it show up on Google until it's actually clicked? That will give you your conversion rate. So those are some basic measurements. From here, down below, you'll be able to read in more detail what those mean, how to improve each of them. But this document is going to show you just a sample. Let me move this around so you can see. just a sample of what these look like. Clicks, impressions, click-through rate, cost per click, etc., etc. Average position. Just this is what it's going to look like once you start gathering data for your campaign. So you're going to take that document to give you an idea of what these look like. Then you'll open this Excel file that's going to give you Google Ads data, and based on that you can determine what keywords do you want to add, delete, pause, and why. Because all of these will show you how successful your keywords are. And then it will ask what ads do you want to add, delete, pause, or pause, why. And essentially, these will assess both your advertisements and your keywords. And that's what this information will walk you through, right? These readings will show you in greater detail than what I can go to on this screencast, how to measure these, both for keywords and for ads, and then you can answer these questions. More information here about this. Google Ads is a potential model for your business, and again, I do recommend it for a number of reasons. These are great. I mean, this is the meat of what this course offers. Is in one spot. You've got tons of resources to learn how to be successful on Google Ads. So that takes us to Project 4. Project 4 will actually kick you out. If you follow this link, it will kick you out to a separate web page here. I won't go into excruciating detail on this because we've got a great video here that just walks you through the whole assignment. But let me give you the overview. The purpose of this assignment is to gather basic data on your campaign, then stop it, make some changes, some adjustments to your campaign based on the principles you're learning this week, and some you'll learn next. And then you're going to restart your campaign and see how it changes. You will not be measured on how successful that change is, right? So if you make changes and your performance drops, you're not going to lose credit for that. This is about learning. This is about experimenting with Google Ads and understanding it. The important thing is that you make those changes and that you can explain why you made those changes, because that's what's going to help you learn from this. So that's the whole overview of the project. You got numerous tabs, sort of like Project 1, so keep that in mind. This is a little screenshot of the first tab, but you've also got, so this is your before and after data and how you'll measure your success. This is then you'll have a tab on keywords, a tab on ads, and a tab on landing pages. Which all of that you'll be able to make changes to this week and next with your assignments. And then there's some guidance. Once you finish this up, this is due in week 12. So in week 12 is when you can pause your campaigns. So that's the overview for Project 4. It's about making changes to your campaign and watching the difference, the impact of those changes, and then learning from that. Let me know if there's any questions, any concerns about Project 4, if you're getting stuck on your Google Ads campaign. If you launch your campaign and you're struggling to see any data appear, you're not getting any impressions, Google is a great resource to quickly diagnose. I've had a lot of students call their help center and say, hey, I launched a campaign, nothing's happening, walk me through this, what can I do? And there's usually some simple critical components they'll show you and things you can adjust. So don't be alarmed if you're not getting any data and impressions for the first 2 or 3 days. But if it gets to 2 or 3 days or past, I would recommend reaching out to Google quickly to say, hey, walk me through. I'm trying to launch this campaign. I'm trying to be successful, but nothing's happening. And they may show you how to adjust your ad, how to change your bid price. Maybe there's just something simple in your billing information. There's a lot of things like that. So don't be alarmed if when you launch your campaign, nothing happens right away. Also keep an eye on it if you do start to get a lot of impressions. And that way you can make sure your daily budget is exactly where you want it and that it's controlling your costs the way you want. So keep a close eye on that as you launch it. Good luck, everyone. It's an exciting part of the semester. I'm excited to see how these campaigns go.